Alright, what's going on, guys? So, I had originally uploaded a clip from stream, but after reviewing it, YouTube decided that they did not appreciate the way that I was talking in the video. And that's fair. I'm not upset. I get it. I do get kind of wild on stream sometimes. So, instead, I decided that today we're going to talk about old men. Well, that sounds kind of weird to say it like that. Actually, you know what? Let's just go with it, man. That's probably not even like the weirdest thing I'm going to say this week. So for those of you that go to the gym, you're going to know where I'm coming from with this. You can relate. For those of you that do not, consider yourselves lucky. Even though I do encourage everyone to go to the gym, it's good for you. But this is the one downside, I will say. So if you've been in the gym, that means you've probably been in the locker room before. And as you know, the locker room at the gym can be a dangerous place. Probably top 10 most dangerous places on this planet, I would say. You know what's at stake. You know what you could see before going in there. You can prepare yourself, but you're never truly prepared for what you're gonna see. And that's what happened to me yesterday, man. I was caught off guard, no tack mask, and I got stunned. That's what happened. So I walked in, and the first thing greeting me at the door was a double meat sandwich. And when I say like at the door, I mean like literally right at the entrance. I walk in, very first thing I see is two meats. I had no chance to avoid it. Like, it was just right there in front of me. It was so bad, I considered just like turning around and leaving and walking out, but I felt like it's too late at that point, you know what I mean? They've seen me, I saw them, like, we know what happened just now. Like, if I turn around and leave, that's disrespectful. But this case was especially bad, and that's why I gotta talk about it, because I'm a little traumatized, so I just gotta share my experience with everyone, and I think it'll help me feel better about this. First of all, it was a double meat special, okay? There was two dudes standing right there next to each other talking. Usually, it's just one at a time, which is much easier to handle. It's always easier to handle one meat than two, you know? So the fact that it was two right away was just a terrible situation. And not only that, like, they were right next to each other, so like it was two at once. Because, you know, sometimes you could see two, you know, you walk in, you see one, you keep walking a little further, you might see another one off to the side, out the corner of your eye. Unfortunately, you know, you catch a little glimpse. It's terrible, but you know what I mean? Two right there at the same time, like, that's a lot to handle. So that was the first issue. The second issue was that, like, they just didn't care at all, okay? They were just standing there talking to each other, not a care in the world. It wasn't like they had just got out the shower or the pool or something. They were drying off. Like, okay, I understand. It's not like they were even sitting there changing into their regular clothes, like progressing. No, not at all. They were just standing there casually talking as if everything was normal in the world. And on top of that, the third thing is they were right there at the front. It's almost as if they were doing it on purpose. Like, you could not avoid them. There was no way to miss that scene. So that is what has inspired the discussion for today. I want to get to the bottom of this because this is one of life's many unsolved mysteries, because I've only ever seen this with like really old dudes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm old, but like not really, right? Nobody my age is doing this. Even like 40-year-olds, I don't really recall seeing them do this either. It's always like once you hit like 60. I don't know what's going on there with that age. There's some like threshold at around 60 years old where something just clicks in your brain and you're like, you know what? It's time to put my meat on display to the world. And it's not even good meat either, okay? I'm just saying, like, I'm not interested in seeing meat. Not really my thing. If it is your thing, that's cool. Don't mind, whatever. But like, if I had to look and I'm being forced to see and experience it, can I at least get some nice meat on display? Like, I'm just saying, if you were swinging around to 8, like, damn, okay, I'd be impressed. I understand why you would want to put that on display. That makes sense. Shit, if I was swinging around to 8, I'd probably go into the women's locker room on accident with that thing out. You know what I'm saying? Oops, my bad, ladies. I got mixed up with the signs. You know, I'm a little bit blind. I didn't have my contacts in. I couldn't see. I thought this was the man. I'll just leave, you know what I mean? I just walk out the door, you know what I mean? With my 12-inch dragon behind me on the floor, you know what I'm saying? Like, that makes sense. That's a realistic situation. But these dudes are way too comfortable to be showing off a 2. And that's a generous 2 when I say 2, like maybe 1.5. I don't know how science works exactly, you know, I'm not an expert, but I'm thinking like maybe as you get older, your meat gets smaller. I don't know if that's a real thing or not, but it just seems to be the case based off of my visual experiences. Because I ain't never seen an old man out there with some big old meat on him. I'm just putting that out there, okay? Not that I'm looking, not that I'm studying, just something that I noticed, okay? So I've broken this down into 3 possible reasons. There's probably some more reasons that I'm not thinking about right now, but the 3 main ones that I came up with that I feel are the most realistic are, number 1, they're just straight up gay. Like, I feel like this probably doesn't apply to all of them, of course, but a small percentage of them, like, yeah, that's probably like a big part of the reason. Because if you're gay, I'm sure the locker room is a great place for you, man. There's all sorts of prime selection in there to be looking at. Like, that's like a buffet up in there, you know what I mean? All you can eat, you can get a variety of meat. Like, that shit go crazy, I'm sure. So that's definitely like one of the reasons, I'm sure. And actually, I just thought of something right now. So hold on. Do old ladies do the same thing in the girls' locker room? Now, that is a question. I don't know why I've never considered that before. Well, I see way more like old men at the gym than old women, but I do see some old women at the gym. Do they do the same thing in the women's locker room? Now, that is a question we need answered. You know what? I'm gonna have to get an answer for that one. We'll figure that one out, but back to the discussion. So that's number 1. The number 2 reason, they're not gay, but they're still looking for attention. Whatever attention they can get, you know what I mean? Like, when you're that old, you're probably not getting any more action, right? Your meat probably doesn't even work anymore, right? You know, you got to get on the Viagra or whatever, right? So you just in a bad place, but mentally you're still right there, you know what I mean? Mentally everything is perfect, so you need some place to get a release. And that's why it's the locker room, because that's a perfect place. Because you can't walk into Walmart with your meat out, you know what I mean? You're going to get arrested. So they do it in the locker room because that's an acceptable environment. They just want to take whatever they can get, you know? They're not in a position to be picky about stuff. They just want something. So this is what they're going to do. And I think that's a pretty reasonable reason. I bet that actually applies to a lot of them. But the real reason, I think, is number 3. This is the one that really ties everything together. I bet everyone falls under reason number 3, and then you mix in some number 2 and some number 1 on top of that as well. But reason number 3, I think this is the main reason. Once you get to a certain age, like once you really get up there in age, you just don't care about life anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen it all. Nothing can even bother you anymore. Like, you've lived your life, you're good. At that point, you're just trying to enjoy your last years out here. You don't care what anyone thinks about you. You don't care what anyone says about you. You just out here, man. That's it. I feel like that's what it's gotta be to be that confident in broadcasting your 2 inches to the world, because that's a completely different mental state. You gotta be moving real different to be doing that. On some level, I gotta respect it, you know what I mean? Like, okay, hey, if that's what it is, okay, I get it. But at the same time, please, man, you gotta think about everyone else who has to suffer through it. You would think that after a while, you get used to it. Like, I've been going to the gym for years. I've seen so much meat over the years, and it's like 99% old man meat. I see it all the time. Like, you would really think that I'm used to it by now, but no, not at all. The newest meat you see is just as traumatizing as the first one. And I've seen hundreds at this point, and it just doesn't get any easier, man. So I don't know, man. That's it for the video. I just had to get that off my chest. I feel better now, actually, after saying all this, because I know that some of y'all are going to be able to relate to what I'm saying, and we can all just suffer together. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are not already. Follow me on Twitter. Links in the description down below. Other than that, have a good day and peace out.